The big one has finally happened. The earthquake we've all been fearing has hit Los Angeles, and predictably, things aren't going great. You've got to get your family and get out of town in Escape the Quake, which was designed by Bruno Tisch and is published by Skip Becky Games, who helped sponsor this video. Hey everyone, my name is Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murphy, and I'm here with Board Game Geek. Well, I've got all the resources I need to get out, so let's get this game down to the table to go a little more in focus on Escape the Quake. In Escape the Quake, the big earthquake has just hit Los Angeles. The power is out, the streets are ruined, and you've got to get out of the city. But to do so, you need some resources, and you're going to need to get your family. You will need fuel, water, food, and medicine. Each player will get a player board, which will put their family somewhere in the city. You will then drive around and gather your supplies. When it's your turn, you will move and take an action, or you can take an action and then move. To move, you will roll 2d6, and then you may move up to that amount rolled. The board is broken up into different neighborhoods, and you may search these neighborhoods to gather your supplies. Different neighborhoods have different supplies, which is shown at the bottom of your player board. In these decks, there are also an array of other cards that may help or hinder you. When moving, if you ever come across another player or an encounter, you must stop and deal with it. If you come across another player, you may choose to trade or fight. If you both decide to trade, you may trade any number of cards with that player. If anyone chooses to fight, you fight. You'll each roll 2d6, and the player who rolls higher wins the fight and gets to take the card from the other player. If you have any weapon cards, you may use them during a fight to increase your die value. If you come across an encounter, you may choose how you deal with it. You may fight, in which case you'll roll 2d6 and you must meet or exceed the value listed on their card. If you win, you'll get the reward. If you lose, you'll need to put one of your cards from your hand behind the encounter card. Now, whenever someone beats this encounter, they get the reward listed and any cards behind the encounter card. You may choose to trade with the card, in which case you will trade in a luxury resource, which will allow you to take the resource listed on the card. If you want to do neither of these things, you may run, but the rest of your turn and your entire next turn are forfeited. You may also come across pawn shops where you may trade any two cards for one of the bank cards. Now remember that you have to pick up your family, and if you ever land your car on their space, you automatically pick them up. Once you have the resources you need and your family, you have to get to safety, but this can be tough with the Quake wheels. There are numerous Quake wheels on the board. Whenever anyone draws a Quake card, you will turn the Quake wheels clockwise. Anyone on a Quake wheel has to lose one card, anyone else has to roll 2 dice. On an even roll, they're safe, and on an odd roll, they have to lose a card. Then all Quake wheels turn until their paths line up with another path, changing the board. Once the wheel gets back to its original placement with the arrow facing up, that wheel gets flipped over and its building gets destroyed. Players will continue around the table taking turns, and the first player to get their family to safety with the resources needed wins the game. This game is all about dealing with a changing landscape around you. Those Quake wheels are turning and changing up the landscape literally, and the road you are going toward may not be there when it comes back around to your turn. And with this game being able to play 2 to 8 players, there's plenty of chance for fights and encounters. And if Escape the Quake seems like a game you'd be interested in, be sure to check out its page at Board Game Geek. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy, and we've been going in focus on Escape the Quake. Have a great day.